How's it going, guys? Welcome to the James Skrmetta Experience. I am your host, James Skrmetta. For the past 10 weeks, we've had a brand new live video every single Tuesday night. And I thought sometimes not everyone can keep up. They might watch 3 episodes and then miss a week, and then watch another episode and miss a week. And in today's world of kind of binge watching, why not let y'all get caught up instead of just pushing out a new episode every single week? So, since we're done with 10, think of it like this. The first 10 was Season 1. This video is a best of Season 1 highlight reel that I've kind of put together so that you at home can not only get caught up, but if you haven't seen any or if you're new to this, this will give you a way to kind of get a gist of it, to watch all the best of, and then for next week when I come back with a hot, fresh, live Season 2 premiere, you'll be totally adjusted and totally caught up. So, although this might not be the compilation videos you're used to, this is a compilation video nonetheless, picked out by me. Enjoy this video, a best of the first 10 episodes. I will see you back again Tuesday night with a fresh new episode, the Season 2 premiere of the James Skrmetta Experience. Thanks, guys, for watching. Enjoy the video. Who had the worst week on Earth? The answer is Jared Fogle. Who the hell is Jared Fogle? Good question. The answer is Jared from Subway. He had his house raided by the FBI, who took a little sneaky peek in there to see what was going on. And the whole reason for this, Jared didn't get charged, didn't get arrested, nothing like that. He just kind of stood outside with his moobs hanging out. But the whole point is he's connected to Richard Taylor, who got busted for kiddie porn and is serving a little bit of time. And Richard Taylor was one of Jared's charity organizers, so Jared's got a link there. Good news for Jared. If he does get busted, there's no shortage of footlongs in prison. For those my age that remember the show Goosebumps, you'll be happy to know that a full-length featured film is coming out this October. Let's take a look at the trailer starring Jack Black's in this movie. Next story.
There's 3 things South Mississippi's known for. It's racial tolerance, physical fitness, and some real heat. Just got to remember the purpose. Just got to remember why we're doing this. Doing this for the views. I mean dogs. Doing it for the dogs. It's just me out here. So, I mean, if I go down, I don't know who's going to find me, but when they do, they're like, oh, man, what happened? Oh, it's a video camera. Let's see on the video. Oh, he was just being an idiot. I don't know what Tyrann Mathieu did before he did his video, but last night I drank about 50 vodka waters at an 80 themed bar and danced to Good Vibrations all night. So that's gonna play a factor against me. That can't help me. Sarah McLachlan is going to be blowing up my Facebook inbox after she sees this video. And when she sees me doing this, she is going to be so thirsty, which is ironic because I am so thirsty right now. Starting to really feel wet. Yep, we got it running. Call Chris Brown because it's running. That was a run it joke. The joke was building for about, what, 11 years now? The only 3 things in the universe hotter than inside of this car right now is the sun, my girlfriend Kelly O'Hara, and Jared Leto in Dallas Buyers Club. Now my hangover is evolved. It's like Pikachu just got a Thunderstone and Raichu is here to ruin my day. PETA, throw me a bone. Pun intended. Sponsor the boy. Imes. What are the dog coming? PetSmart, where are you at?
Northwest was baptized this week, but don't worry about it. Kim and Kanye were super low-key about the whole thing. LOL, just kidding. They dressed up like Jesus and the Virgin Mary. Kim, I don't know if you know, but virgin is a very, very important part of the title Virgin Mary. And anytime someone writes a song about you entitled, I Hit It First, you can't do that. An article from Vice talked about North Korean king/president Kim Jong-un slaughtering a turtle farmer. I thought it was just a turtle. Well, that's not as sad. The pool at the Cosmopolitan Hotel in Las Vegas caught fire Saturday, causing hours of delay. This is quite different than how it usually works. Usually, you don't feel the burn until a few days after you leave Las Vegas. In the last video of the day, we see a man, who would have guessed it, in Florida, who took quite the exception to paying $2 for a bus ticket. Look, I love this video, I really do. But if I wanted to watch some guy force himself into something that big, I would just rewatch the sex scene from Amy Schumer's latest movie, Trainwreck. A student at Pratt Institute in New York believes she has created a spray-on condom which will only take 2 minutes to use. Michelle Chu says she hopes her invention will change the whole experience of lovemaking. I'm not really sure what people are waiting on. There's been an invention that if you spray it on, you will not have babies, and it's called BOD. Lollapalooza is cranking up in Chicago right now, and in my favorite video of the week, a guy shows that sometimes you can try a little too hard to get a girl's attention. was the most aggressive Tinder swipe I've ever seen. Swipe right. What we do at this show is make things better. So what we're going to do is we're going to give this video the Jim Ross treatment. Now let's watch it in all of its splendor.
Look out! Look out! Look out!
All you rap fans out there, get excited. Dr. Dre is dropping his first album in 16 years. The album's called Compton. Not a lot of people know this, but Dr. Dre is actually very celebrated in the medical field. He is credited with creating the only pill on earth that is safe for women to use around Bill Cosby. A North Carolina paralyzed woman known as the Paralyzed Bride, after a freak accident at her bachelorette party left her paralyzed from the chest down. She just had a 2-month-old baby and decided to set a precedent for all paralyzed women. She took a bunch of these photos in lingerie and in risque positions to prove once and for all that paralyzed women can still be sexy and they are dateable. Good for her. I'm glad she released the pictures. I think this is a great cause. Word on the street is that The Weeknd is releasing a single to go along with the whole cause. The single's titled, I Can't Feel My Legs. College football season's coming up and people are getting fired up. Teams are already releasing graphics and inspirational quotes. Vanderbilt is not letting a current sexual assault case with a few of their former players distract them, though. They released this new quote, "We don't ask for permission." Now, a social media intern probably got fired for this whole thing, which means someone has to do the job. Why not me? So I thought I would go ahead and craft a few slogans for a few teams in professional and college sports for this season. Let's check them out. First, the Washington Redskins. Our defense has gone off the reservation. And finally, the Buffalo Bills. We'll cut your heart out. Allegedly. Celebrity romances are always a very volatile thing. They're up and down. Who knows what's going to happen? People break up. But last week, no one saw this coming. Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy actually got a divorce. In an actual official statement, because this really happened, on Kermit's Facebook page, it read, "After careful thought, thoughtful consideration, and considerable squabbling, Miss Piggy and I made the difficult decision to terminate our romantic relationship." When asked how he was going to cope with the breakup, Kermit said he was going to seek advice from someone he knew had also divorced a pig. And I can only assume he's talking about Nick Lachey. Because people can just do whatever they want with no repercussion. This is Kieran Gandhi. She ran the London Marathon, but she did it in a special way. She did it on the first day of her period without a tampon. She did it to raise awareness and to remove the stigma from women on their period. She was saying that she felt the discomfort and the pain, but she pushed through it for women everywhere. The whole story kind of confused me because she ran the London Marathon, but I thought the Red Dress Run was in New Orleans.
Oh, that's nasty.
86 bras were stolen from a Philadelphia Victoria's Secret, valued at over $4,600. Police are asking for the public's support in the search of the pair of suspects, and with this many bras stolen, they're hoping that the investigation leads to quite the bust. A Florida man's in a little bit of trouble after allegedly letting his teenage daughter go to a strip club where she drank, smoked marijuana, did cocaine, and danced on the pole in a bikini. Now, letting your daughter do all that stuff is pretty wild, but the real surprising thing here is that it wasn't Billy Ray Cyrus. The Associated Press reported that Caitlyn Jenner could be facing manslaughter charges as sheriff investigators deemed she was driving unsafe. I'm just glad we got this homicidal maniac driver Bruce out of the picture, because I know our sweet angel Caitlyn would have never done something like this. Rosie O'Donnell's daughter went missing about a week ago. But the 17-year-old has been found. Chelsea O'Donnell was found with a 25-year-old man she met on Tinder, and it gets worse. The man was accused of being a heroin dealer. When investigators found Chelsea, she refused to leave his house. After they arrested the 25-year-old, they found lewd images of him on Chelsea's phone. This is really just a mother's worst nightmare, that their daughter would one day be adopted by Rosie O'Donnell. Here's a video that acts as great evidence against marijuana issues and gun control laws.
Hold it tight, little girl. I'm talking about.
I got you, man. I got you. Every one of them off you grew up in the building, man. You hear me?
And
Here.
hip shoot that hoe.
Hip it. Got you. What you want me to shoot it? Gotta shoot it, bitch.
Nah, fool. Don't shoot it like that.
I got it.
Told you.
Go ahead.
I told you.
Go ahead.
I told you.
Go ahead.
Don't hold it like that.
I was pretty shocked by the video, not gonna lie. I had no idea it snowed in Ferguson this time of the year. Are you ready for football? Steve Sarkisian is.
Get ready to fight on, baby. Let's go!
Head coach of the University of Southern California, Steve Sarkisian, was reprimanded for that drunken tirade by athletic director Pat Hayden. Sarkisian apologized and said that it'll never happen again. He's embarrassed, and he has embarrassed the Trojan family. Some people are saying that he should be suspended and charged with public drunk. Now, the good news for Sarkisian is that it's Southern California, so you basically have to kill somebody to get a guilty verdict. And sometimes that doesn't even work. As if you needed more evidence that no one holds a candle to Nicki Minaj, the Wax Statue Museum Madame Tussauds had to put out a public letter begging guests to quit molesting the statue and posting pictures to social media. The museum has kind of come under fire recently for the pose that Minaj is in, and I'm with them. Madame Tussauds, what is your problem? Why would you put Nicki Minaj in that pose? Why wouldn't you put her at a normal position of her holding a microphone and belting out a ballad? It's almost like you think for some reason that that pose has had anything to do with Minaj's success. It's almost like you believe that that's all she does. That in every music video she's in this pose. Madame Tussauds, maybe have a little bit of class next time and put her in a position that she's actually in most of the time. I don't really get the whole turn on. You can obviously tell the difference between that wax statue and the real Nicki, which is mostly made of plastic. Josh Duggar came to the defense of those in the pictures, saying that the area wasn't roped off, there was no signs, so how are they supposed to know not to molest it? Little advice, Madam T. Don't change a thing. Just sell 2-for-1 tickets and now call the whole special the Menage a Trois. Amber Rose in Black China. Black China, is that right? Jesus, that's like Hitler's worst nightmare. Everyone had their eyes on the seating arrangement this year. Sometimes it can get a little awkward with people sitting next to each other for hours on ends. Sometimes it makes for awkward television, but the MTV execs are smart this year. They put Tyga directly next to the girls in Fifth Harmony, which makes a lot of sense because the youngest girl in Fifth Harmony turned 18 before the show, and since she's of age, Tyga will definitely not try and have sex with her. But it was a comedy sketch that had the whole world talking. A comedy sketch where Miley and a bunch of rappers like Mike Will Made It and Tyga were having a slumber party, and Billy Ray Cyrus stuck his head in the room, told everyone goodnight, and shut the door. Look, Billy Ray, I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to live your life, but I knew a guy just like you once. He was totally cool with all of his daughters having a bunch of sleepovers with rappers. I'm not going to go into all the gruesome details, but I'll tell you this. He's never been the same since. College football is back in a big way. Tough weekend, though, for Penn State, who lost to Temple for the first time in 74 years. Good news is they have the best kicker in college football, true freshman Joey Julius, this 5'10", 260-pound stud. Now, I would tell him to lose a little bit of weight, but I have to imagine it's pretty tough to find a Subway in Penn State right now. And the last story of the day, I don't know how this monster keeps showing up on my program, but Josh Duggar is apparently missing from his rehab clinic in Illinois. The search is officially on for this creep. Family, officials, authorities, everybody's trying to find him. It really shouldn't take too long, though. There can't be that many petting zoos in Illinois. Another glorious week of football. I had a great time watching. I'm sure you did too. Last week, we talked about Penn State, who lost to Temple for the first time in 80 years. Now, Penn State did a little something different after the loss to High Demons. This is what they did.
And one thing that we did is we buried the tape. We buried the tape, actually buried the tape. Where? With the shovel on the practice field right where we walk out. We buried it.
There's an old saying, when things are going wrong, get back to what you know. And what has Penn State done fantastic for the past 20 years? That's right. Cover things up. Nothing quite says Penn State like taking something terrible, something you're really ashamed of, and burying it away from the national media and acting like it absolutely never happened. The St. Louis Rams beat the Seattle Seahawks in an absolute nail-biter Sunday, and Seahawk fans are stunned. They've lost their last 2 games in the very, very, very last second. Seahawk fans are not used to people coming in, beating them up for a few hours, and then pulling it out at the very, very last second. Right, Sierra? Former New York Jet linebacker Jermaine Cunningham is in a little bit of hot water. Cunningham was suspended for 6 weeks for pleading guilty to 3 separate charges involved in a domestic dispute. The charges involve Cunningham taking nude pictures of his ex-girlfriend and leaking them to other websites. Sure, it's easy to be mad at this creep, invading her privacy, breaking every single form of trust between a man and a woman, exploiting this poor woman who now has to go through life every second of every day, from when she wakes up to when she goes to sleep, knowing as she walks down the street, all the eyes peering around her have probably seen her at her absolute most vulnerable, completely shattering every single bit of her as a free woman. But what I'm mad about is this guy didn't even tell us what websites he put the pictures on. Former top 5 tennis player in the world, James Blake, did not exactly enjoy his time in a Flushing, New York hotel while he was in town enjoying the U.S. Open. Blake was tackled to the ground by a police officer. With all the national scrutiny behind police officers right now, don't worry, police in New York were totally prepared to release a statement on exactly why the policeman felt it was necessary to tackle James Blake. In the statement, it reads, he tackled James Blake because, well, James Blake is a black man. And that's the end of the statement. And finally, California is stuck in a pretty crappy situation. Monterey Park is a Taiwanese community in California that has seen a recent influx of Chinese immigrants. Now get this, the Chinese immigrants are causing a bit of a stir-fry within the community because they just can't get the culture change. Certain Chinese photos, like seen in these pictures, have been seen taking dumps. That's right, going number 2 just out in the public in the neighborhood. Complaints aren't coming though from neighbors or authorities. They're coming from local dogs who walk up and unknown to them of what the substance is, they eat it. And then 10 minutes later they're starved.